Peace. I don't know why I was doing that pose, but here we are. Good way to start the video, Mark. So, anyway, happy Saturday. Flying Health Coach coming at you, aka Mark or Marcus. If you're feeling fancy, Marcus, whatever. I answer to both, but, anyways, hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. What brings me to tonight is a concept that I talked a lot about when I used to be a corporate health coach, i.e., decision fatigue. So that's what we're going to talk about. It's going to be a brief video. I don't want to keep it too long. I'm going to do a much longer video tomorrow night and a much more in-depth topic, but I think this one's important to talk about decision fatigue because it's definitely a real thing. It can be a hindrance for a lot of people. So let's dive in. Let's get into it. So decision fatigue, what is it? It's a pretty straightforward concept if you really think about it, right? You get fatigued by having to make too many decisions. And I have a picture for you. And I'm a wonderful artist if you couldn't tell. So this is you. There's no nose, but it's you. Hair's on fire, or you're going nuts, right? You trying to decide what to do in your life, and this can be as minute as you go into the grocery store. There we go. How's that? I'm a great storyteller, aren't I? I'll come back to that. But point is, it can be as minute as you going to the grocery store to try to buy cereal or to buy vegetables. It could be you going to the gym, deciding what to do. It could be you going clothes shopping. It could be you going to the movies. Doesn't matter, right? But the point is, a lot of us, majority of us probably, when it comes to making a decision, we have all of these thoughts just, in our minds of, I want to do this, I want to do that, I should buy this, I should buy that, I shouldn't buy this, I shouldn't buy that, I should talk to him, to her, I shouldn't talk to him or her. It just keeps floating around the brain constantly, right? And this is what it turns into, right? Is you going crazy because you have way too many things you're focused on. That equals fatigue, right? Well, how does it equal fatigue, Marcus? Because your brain only takes up 2% in your body, right? 2% of mass in your body, but it consumes 20% of energy. That's a lot of freaking energy, right? So you can imagine 20% of your daily energy just goes towards your brain working, right? Now, if you compound that and think about all of it, if you put a majority of the energy into deciding the most basic, minute things on a day-to-day basis, let alone what to do with your life, you're not going to have much energy left to make bigger decisions, right? So you go crazy, don't know what to do, leads to fatigue because your brain uses so much energy. Eventually, it's going to lead to some subpar action on your part, right? Because as we know, knowledge is power, right? It's wonderful to know how to do things, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't apply it. Knowledge means nothing if you don't put action towards it, right? I would rather, and I hope you guys would too, right? I would rather put an hour of action towards something than spend 10 hours researching a subject. Try something and do it, right? Make a decision, do it, learn from it, and then go to the next thing, right? You're not going to gain anything by just researching a subject over and over and over again. You got to do it, right? You need the action. So, decision fatigue, right? Why is that important? Why is it an important concept? There we go. Needed that one. It's important because if you spend your entire day deciding what to do, and again, it's all the little things. It's, I woke up, what should I have for breakfast? All right, I don't know. What should I, what route should I take to get to work? What should I have for lunch? What should I tell my wife or husband when I get home? What should I do here? What should I do there? What do the kids want for cereal? And I mean, Christ, if you're about cereal lately, go to the grocery store, right? There's like 5 rows of God knows how many columns of cereal, right? Talk about decision fatigue. It'll drive you nuts just buying cereal throughout the day. So if your brain has all of these seemingly minute things you're trying to figure out per day, how in the hell do you think you're going to try to figure out your own life, right? How can you simplify it? It's a question I want you to ponder a little bit. How can you simplify your decision-making process, right? How do you take, I want to do these 40 things down right now. How do you bring that down to like 5 things, right? How do you take, even like I have these 10 things I want to do, well, let's narrow that down to like, again, maybe 3, 4, or 5 things you want to do. don't let your brain is a supercomputer, right? It's smarter than that. It can do a lot. It can process just a ungodly amount of information. But why not make it a little bit easier on your brain? Why not give your brain the ability to focus on, a couple things and get really good at them versus having to focus on all these things and you end up doing nothing at the end of the day, right? Or if you do something, it's very subpar. You get very subpar action toward it. So I'm going to call him Frank. Don't be like Frank, right? If you're like Frank and you have way too many things going on in your life, right, it's going to lead to fatigue, right? Remember, your brain uses 20% of your daily energy. It's a lot of energy your brain uses. 20%, that's a high amount that goes to just brain power. All that's going to lead to subpar action, right? And you're not going to live a very fulfilling, authentic, happy life if you're only giving half of the effort, half of commitments, right? You're just not going to do it. It's not going to happen. So, decision fatigue. Take what's in your life right now, and it's something you can try at home, right? Take what's in your life. I know I got a candle burning in the background to get some better ambiance in here. What's something you want to do in your life right now, right? Just one thing, right? Pick maybe one thing you want to do. Let's just use an example. I want to work out. Or let's go bigger than that, right? I want to lose weight. Okay, you want to lose weight. Well, guess what? There's nutrition, exercise, there's sleep, there's water, nutrition, water goes into nutrition, but, exercise, nutrition, sleep, right? All that stuff goes into losing weight. Below those three, exercise, nutrition, sleep, below exercise, there's all these programs you can do. Below nutrition, there's all these nutritional programs you can do. Below sleep, I need to get, 7-8 hours sleep every single night. There's all these things you have to decide what to do beneath each of those tasks. Versus just, I want to lose weight. Well, why do I want to lose weight? I want to lose weight because I want to look good for the opposite sex. It's great motivation. I want to lose weight because I want to be healthy for my kids. I want to lose weight because I want to feel more confident. I want to be able to fit in better clothes. I want to live a longer, healthier life. Cool. Well, what's your why? You figure the why out of why you want to do something. Beautiful. Journal that down, write that down. Okay, how do I do that, Craig? What's my action? Well, instead of trying to have 1,000 different things to decide what to do, just pick one of those things. Okay, what can I do right now? I'm going to decide that I can focus on exercise, right? Right now, I can't do much about my sleep because of my job or my kids or whatever have you. I can't do much with that right now. But what I can do is I can focus on exercise. Cool, good broad concept. What's the next step? Well, I don't really know how to exercise, but what I do know how to do is walk. I know how to jog. I know how to hike, right? What do you know how to do? Okay, well, I know how to do one of those three things, so I'm going to go pick one of those things and do it daily, or 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, whatever, right? I'm going to do something more than what I'm doing right now. I'm going to start there and get better at that. And look at that decision-making process. You have a goal, you have your why, right? And you decide, I know I can do this because I need to do this to reach that goal. I'm going to pick one thing and get good at that for now, right? I'm not going to pick, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and I'm going to eat paleo, I'm going to eat Mediterranean, I'm going to go Atkins, I'm going to go, complete keto, I'm going to go zone, I'm going to do whatever. I'm just going to pick one thing out of those 2 or 3 principles in losing weight and get really good at that right now. And that frees up your mind for other things, right? What also is it going to do? It's going to make that process easier for you because it's going to allow you to put more focus on that one task, get good at that one task. Once you're really good at that one task, you're going to get motivated, you're going to feel more confident, you're going to get some results and progress, and then you're eventually going to have more space to add more things into your life, right? Because again, that 20% of brain power, right? Let's just say maybe you initially had to use 15% of it to decide what you want to do, why you want to do it, and the initial 1 or 2 steps you're going to take. Well, now, after your brain has adapted to that, it becomes part of your life and part of a habit, you don't need as much brain power anymore to think about walking a couple times a week or going to the gym or going hiking or running. You don't need it anymore. So you have more space now to look into more things. Okay, well, cool. Now I want to look into what can I do for nutrition. All right, well, great. Hey, Flying Health Coach over here has this awesome book. Such a cheesy segue, isn't it? It's terrible. Got this awesome book over here, How to Unf Your Life, with some great infographics on how to start off nutrition. That was bad. Anyway, we're here now. So point is have your goal, right? Have your life blueprint of what you want to do. Pick an avenue of where you can start. Look at that avenue and pick one or two things in the avenue that you know you can make an impact on. Under those one or two things, take an action, right? What can I start with? What can I do that I know I can be successful with on a day-to-day, weekly basis? Get good at that first. And that's going to help your decision fatigue. So you don't have to think so hard about it. So make it simple, right? Guys, make your life more simplistic. Life is already complicated enough. You don't have to have 20 different goals, right? When I was a health coach, we always had people just write down one or two SMART goals. I don't really believe in that right now, but we always had people just write down one or two goals. It was never 10, right? But people, they always wanted to say, Mark, I'm just gonna, I gotta quit smoking, and then I gotta exercise, and I gotta stop drinking, and then I need to read more, then I need to get better with my friends, and they have all these like 5 or 10 just really pretty big goals, and they want to focus on all of them. Or on the flip side, you have those other people who say, I'm gonna quit drinking for a month, or I'm gonna quit smoking for a month, see how I feel. Well-intentioned, and I'm getting a phone call right now, go figure out what that happened as I'm filming. All well-intentioned, but even that's a big decision to say, okay, if I'm a smoker right now, I'm going to quit for a month and see how I feel. What do you think most people do after a month is because they've been thinking about it every single day. They go to town after a month. Now, some people go longer and quit because, people do feel better. They feel accomplished. They feel, they just feel better by doing something for a month, and maybe they go longer. But a majority of people, that whole month or a week or 2 weeks, all they're thinking about is just getting to the end of that time frame so they can do that habit again, right? It's taking so much brain power, to stay so motivated every single day to get there. And yes, it is obviously a success, but what I try to preach is pick something you can do. Give your brain a break, right? You have enough stuff to think about on a day-to-day basis. Give it a break. Think about what you can accomplish. Decide what you can accomplish, and then put action toward it, right? If you do that, you can make your life just a little bit easier. You don't have to decide 10,000 things. You don't have to get fatigued by trying to figure out every little way you got to get better, right? Oh, here's another self-help book that's going to give you 57 different ways to get better. Okay? Try just one or two, right? Try one or two ways to get better. Then there's balloons now. It's weird. Okay? Do that for me. It'll make your life easier. Anyway, hope this video was helpful. Hope it was beneficial. Again, I do this stuff just to make you guys think a little bit differently. Please don't forget to like and subscribe up in that corner. And as always, if you guys want to do more one-on-one health coaching as time goes, shoot me an email, flyinghealthcoach@gmail.com up in that corner. Give me a day or two to respond back to you. And as always, hope it was helpful. Peace. And cheers, folks. Live well.